Um, Africa is slipping off from the hands of the Western supremacy, hands of the Western powers, and from the hands of the imperialists, from the hands of the colonizers. Africa is slipping off slowly by slowly, day in, day out. We wake up in the morning, there is a slight change. We sleep, we wake up another morning, a slight change. We sleep again, we wake up, a slight change. Changes are happening every day. So the day goes, the day in, day out, Africa is slipping up from the hands of the white men. Hours are counting, days are counting, weeks are counting, months are counting, years are counting. And every other time, Africa is slipping off from the hands of the Western supremacy. And because Western people are the people who likes and love acquiring, that is what they do best. That's what they know most. Acquiring, acquiring. That's what they know most. Because there are people who used to acquiring land, acquiring property, acquiring resources. Donald Trump wants to acquire Canada and make it the 51st state of the United States of America. United States is in Kenya. United States has even two military camps here in Kenya. So, and I believe also there are some other countries here in Africa where United States has built some camps there. But as I told you, Africa is slipping off from the hands and from the mouth of the Western supremacy slowly by slowly, day in, day out. But because these people are used to acquiring, now United States, Donald Trump is looking forward. He wants to acquire Canada. And he has some reasons as to why he wants to acquire Canada. He has got some reasons. And any country that I realize that any country that these people go in is a country that in one way or the other it can benefit them. Okay. They were working together. They had some kind of an organization, collaboration in some things here and there, because maybe Canada has been supplying cars to the United States and maybe milk to the United States and some things like those ones. But you see now Donald Trump is saying that they do not need their cars. They can make theirs. They don't need their milk. They have enough milk. And he is complaining that they have been spending, as the US, they've been spending a lot of money in Canada in purposes of maybe strengthening security and all those things here and there. You will hear the video. I want you to watch the video. Let's watch this video and then we shall talk about it.
Economic force, because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. But here's the problem with Canada. So many friends up there. I love the Canadian people. They're great. But we're spending hundreds of billions a year to protect it. We're spending hundreds of billions a year to take care of Canada. We lose in trade deficits. We're losing massive. We don't need their cars. You know, they make 20% of our cars. We don't need that. I'd rather make them in Detroit. We don't need the cars. We don't need their lumber. We have massive fields of lumber. We don't need their lumber. We have to unrestrict them because stupid people put, restrictions on, but I can do that with an executive order. We don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada? And I said that to, as I called him, Governor Trudeau. I said, listen, what would happen if we didn't subsidize you, if we didn't, because we give them a lot of money. We help them. As an example, we're buying icebreakers, and Canada wants to join us in the buying of icebreakers. I said, we don't really want to have a partner in the buying of icebreakers. We don't need a partner. But no right. Nope, no right. Here's what we have. We have a right not to help them with their financial difficulties because we owe $36 trillion too. We're going to start knocking it out pretty fast, but we're going to be able to do it because of energy and other things. But no right, no right. But why are we supporting a country 200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal. All of these other things, they should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down, I said, what would happen if we didn't do it? He said Canada would dissolve. Canada wouldn't be able to function if we didn't take their 20% of our car market. They send us hundreds of thousands of cars. They make a lot of money with that. They send us a lot of other things that we don't need. We don't need their cars, and we don't need the other products. We don't need their milk. We got a lot of milk. We got a lot of everything, and we don't need any of it. So I said to him, well, why are we doing it? He said, I don't really know. He was unable to answer the question, but I can answer it. We're doing it because of habit, and we're doing it because we like our neighbors, and we've been good neighbors, but we can't do it forever, and it's a tremendous amount of money. And why should we have a $200 billion deficit and add on to that many, many other things that we give them in terms of subsidy? And I said, that's okay to have if you're a state. But if you're another country, we don't want to have it. We're not going to have it with European Union either. European Union, we have a trade deficit of $350 billion. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take anything.
All right, welcome back again. You've heard what Donald Trump has said. They've used some one, two, three things here and there. Maybe they had there were some things they were doing together, but now US wants to acquire Canada to become the 51st state of the United States of America, and I think I would call this. I don't know how am I supposed to call it, but I would call it dictatorship. Because the things to do with the expanding and expanding of the land and doing what some things like those ones, it is just as good as dictatorship. And these are the same things that have been happening to Africa. I've decided to talk about this issue because it is the same thing that happened to Africa, and it is the same things that have been happening to Africa. Africa has really suffered under the hands of the Western powers, of the white man's supremacy, because of these things to do with acquiring. When these people came to Africa, they started dividing Africa. Africa was a one land, okay? But until when the colonizers came to Africa, that is until when the Europeans came to Africa, it is when now Africa started to have the divides, okay? And that is where we got now different countries that we're having in Africa. But initially, Africa was one. Okay? This was why this Africa was being divided. It's because people were looking for lands where they can rule. So someone says, from here and to here, it will be my place of ruling. I will rule here, from here to here. Another one comes and says, I will rule from here to here. Another one comes and says, I will rule from here to here. So it became an issue, and it became something of sharing property that does not belong to you. Okay? And so for all this time, if United States, my question, if the United States have been they have been working together with Canada, maybe they have been receiving something from Canada and them giving something out to Canada. My question is, how comes and why is it that it is only now when you are beginning to feel like you are doing a lot to Canada and Canada isn't giving you more? Okay? That is not my problem, and that is not my issue. That is their issue. They work it out themselves in a good way, in a manner that is recommended, that is according to them. But I want to open to talk about something. Like, this is my opinion. You see, Africa is slipping from the hands of a white man, and therefore the only thing a white man can do right now is to start now looking for better ways now to manage themselves, because white man and the Western countries, they've been surviving using African countries. It would not it would not have been by African countries, these people wouldn't be surviving. They're surviving because of the African countries, okay? Because they're using our properties to survive. They're using they're using our resources like golds and diamonds and diatomites and uranium and all the things they making ornaments depends on Africa. A lot of things, as I told you before, and I always say here, I even say it in Kenyan-based platform, that in Africa and in the world, the total number of minerals in the whole world, out of 100%, Africa owns 80%. Like 80% of the all minerals in Africa, in the world, comes from Africa. Are we together up to there? Now, if 80% of the minerals in the world comes from Africa, it means only 20% is shared by all these other remaining countries. And therefore, if these people cannot come to Africa, if not by the hand of Africa, if not them having part in Africa, they can actually not look the way they are looking, and they cannot build their countries and build themselves the way they have built themselves. But they have built themselves using Africans. The reason for the poverty of Africans, or rather the reason for the bad life and the reasons for the suffering of the people of Africa, it's because of because white man came to Africa. And when a white man came to Africa, he came to Africa and took over Africa. He took everything that belongs to an African man, and therefore an African man could not manage himself anymore. An African land had to remain the way it is. And up to date, they're still in Africa. They're digging minerals in Africa, taking them to their countries. Something that we are very much against. Okay? Now, I would tell you, maybe the reason as to why US now wants to take over Canada, it's because United States is looking forward to make itself more stronger. Because now Africa is slipping off from the hands and from the mouths of a white man, of the Western powers. It's going to be very difficult for these people to strengthen themselves, to become more stronger, because they're depending on Africans to be strong. Okay? So for you to be able to sustain, to have a sustainability of sustainability of the power that you have, to be called a superpower, you need to look for other ways of making yourself huge and making yourself bigger. Okay? That is why you'd see now Donald Trump wants to take Africa, to take Canada, to be a 51st state of the United States of America. And also there's a land, I think it's an island, Green Island or something like that, that he wants also to acquire and take it. I would call it dictatorship. I would really call that dictatorship, because it is some kind of dictatorship. That is how dictators do, acquiring lands and expanding territories. You don't care if you're getting into another person's territory, you're just expanding territories. They're looking forward to strengthen themselves because they're becoming weaker. Why are they becoming weaker? They're becoming weak because Africa is now looking forward to stand for itself. And I would say it's better if every country and every state stand for itself. Let us have an African state that is going to stand for itself. And then let them have whatever they want to do. If they want to take Canada, to acquire Canada and all those countries, it's okay. And maybe they have got their own reasons why they're doing that. But let's try and be people who are standing for ourselves and see if we can fail. Because if Africa becomes a state, the state of Africa, okay, the United States of Africa, and then there is the United States of America and other states that will be there and that are there, I tell you, you guys, I don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know where you will be hiding from, because it will get to a point when you have to listen to us. We sit down. If we want to do something, we sit down. We listen to each other. You listen to me. I listen to you. We make a decision. It will be a matter of listening to each other. You sit down. You listen to me. I sit down. I give you my ear. Listen to you. Okay? We listen to each other. It needs now to be a fair conversation. What do you want from me? I want ABC. Then I tell you, for you to be able to get ABC from me, you need to do 1, 2, 3. Then myself, I tell you, you ask me, what do you want from me? I tell you, what I want from you is ABCD. And then you tell me, for you to be able to get ABCD from me, you need to do 1, 2, 3 things. But the issues of coming and taking something as if it is yours, you don't care if there are people who are possessing those things, or rather you don't know they are owners of those things. That is dictatorship. That is something that in Africa we're trying to do away with it. And it is starting with Ibrahim Traore. And I think, sometimes I even think, maybe it is something that happened yesterday. You know, sometimes I think It's because of what happened yesterday. Because now Africans are proving themselves, are proving to people that we are tired by the imperialists. We are tired by the Western, by the white man supremacy. We are tired by the colonizers, by the oppressions. We are very tired. We want to start and continue now doing things by our own selves. Let us respect each other. We respect you, you respect us. Respect my property, I respect your property. You respect what belongs to me, I respect what belongs to you. Whatever belongs to you, I shouldn't even put my hand on it. And whatever belongs to me, you shouldn't even bother like putting your hand on it. We need to live like that. You respect me, I respect you. You treat my people well when they're in your countries. There are people in their diasporans there. They are Africans, they are black people in Africa, African Americans in Africa. Some are in Caribbean. Treat them well. And if you has come to Africa, I'm going to treat them well. It should be a two-way traffic. Because if you're going to treat Africans who are in diaspora and all those places very bad, then I'll not be guilty, and I'll not issue myself guilty if I treat your people very bad. Okay? Because it will be do me or do you. So we need to get to a point where respect has gotten to that point. Okay? And therefore, because Africa has been sustaining Western countries, that is why you see now Western countries would try to find some other means of sustainability, of strengthening themselves, of making themselves stand. Okay? They will start be looking for the ways of sustainability, how they can make themselves stand, how they can make themselves stronger again. Because Africa is slipping off from the hands of the white man supremacy, from the Western countries. Everything they have been getting from Africa for free. A time is coming when now they will now start getting it. They will start getting it not for free anymore. They will have to pay for it so they can be able to get it. If they don't pay for it, we don't give it to them. If they don't follow the rules of an African man to be able to acquire what belongs to an African man, you don't get it. Okay? And also me, African, or an African, or a black person, if I don't follow your rules, I don't get what belongs to you. So whatever belongs to you, I'll not touch it. I'll not bother myself touching it. And whatever belongs to me, again, don't bother yourself touching it. Okay? I should only touch whatever belongs to you by your rule. Okay? You give me, you accept, or rather you give me a go ahead to touch it. I touch it when you have instructed me to touch it. And you also need to touch what belongs to me when I have instructed you to touch it, or under my conditions. I touch yours under your conditions, you touch mine under my conditions. That is where we are heading to. And that is what we want as Africans. That is what we want here in Africa. We need to we are not like, I'm not preaching hatred, and I don't hate anybody. We don't hate white people. But at some point, white people, sometimes they hate Africans. I don't know why, because I've seen some of them saying, oh, Africans are uncivilized, Africans are poor, Africans have not done anything in this world. And it's okay if that we've not done anything, and we accept. But you need to understand also, the reason as to why we are stuck and stagnant where we are today, it's because, man, you've made it so. You've made it so. Okay? We are not stuck because we want to. We are not stuck because we are lazy. We have great minds in Africa, but you've made us stuck. That shows some kind of, maybe, I don't know how to call it, but it's not good. So, we have decided to do this. We must liberate Africa. We must revolve Africa. And once Africa has been liberated, a tune will change, and an atmosphere will change. The breath will smell different. The air will smell different. Okay? It will be a respect. I respect you, you respect me. And so because the Western countries know that, that's why you see a country like US wants now to go and take, maybe to acquire Canada, because they want to keep on sustaining themselves. They are looking for the strategies to make themselves stronger. Because if they lose Africa, they've lost a lot of things. I tell you that every day. We are making these people grow. We are keeping them. Development in the United States and in the Western countries, it is as a result of existence of Africa. Africa would not have ever existed. Maybe the Western countries would not be looking the way they are looking like. But these people, they failed to understand. It would be good if when you're getting something from somebody, or when you're getting a favor from somebody, it would be good if you at least appreciate. But there is no way of staying like sitting on top of us, standing on our heads, and at the end of the day, you're still getting something from me. When I talk, you don't want me to talk. When I say this and this is bad, you don't want me to say this and this is bad. That is very bad. That is unfair. Okay? We would be living well right now if we would have these coordinations. Like, you want me to do this, I do it. I want you to do this, you do it. But it is a one-sided rule. Okay? You are governing me. I shouldn't have a voice. Another man in South Africa was asking Julius Malema that now that you want to be a free country, you're looking forward for the freedom. He was a white man. You're looking forward for your freedom and 1, 2, 3 things. What would you need from us? Like, the question was, why is it always about us needing something from you? Why can't it be you needing from us? Do you want to say we are so limited to an extent, like we are not supposed to like we cannot, like, it's hard, it's hard to understand. Why has it always been you needing, like we needing from you? Like, this white man was asking, what would you need from us, or what would you want us to do? Why not you needing from us? Because we need to get to a point when an African man now is asking a white man, what do you need from me? What can I do for you? Or rather, what do you want me to do so that you make it in whatever you want to do? Because I am also entitled. Okay? And I also have a voice. It's not all about me needing something from you. Let's watch this video.
Breakfast and for taking questions. My question is about the day after you become president, once you've become president next year. So you've talked about anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism. I'm the ambassador of Spain, sorry, Raimundo Robredo. The European Union's relationship with Africa and African countries is generally guided, I would say absolutely guided, by the priorities of those countries that are aligned with the African Union and with these countries. As my brother, the High Commissioner of Nigeria, said, one of the things it requested is foreign direct investment, which I think you've criticized in some way. Other thing is cooperation in peace and security, for instance, in Cabo Delgado, which I think I've heard that you've also critical of that. Is done at the request of these countries. So my question is, what would you do differently, and what would be your relationship with the European Union once you become president? What would you change? What would you think we should do differently? And what would you put on the table also as a value proposition for the European Union? Because, as you said, we all defend our own national interests. That is something that all diplomats do. So what would you propose to the European Union differently from the value proposition of Africa today, South Africa and Africa? And what would you request from us? How would South Africa's policy towards the EU be different? Also regarding trade, for instance, the preferential trade agreements, TDCA or AGOA with the US, would you change that? Thank you.
The same thing with the European Union. Don't say, what are we going to ask from you? That's a big brother mentality. What are you going to ask from us? Yes, don't say, why should it be us who are asking? We're not asking for anything. We're fine. So let's relate as equals, not as a beggar and the...
Welcome back again. It's not all about me needing something from you. Sometimes it should always be you needing something from me. And that is how we are supposed to live. If there should be a respect here in the middle between me and you, you should also be a person, you need something from me. You see me as an asset, and I see you as an asset to me. When you see me as an asset to you, I need also to see you as an asset to me. Not all the times you seeing me as an asset to you. And therefore, because I don't see you as an asset to me, so you sit on my head and stand on me and do anything you want. No, that's not the way to go. So, me and you have to agree that Africa has been a great country, and Africa has been a great continent. It has been doing a lot of things to the Western countries. it has been doing a lot of things to the Western countries. And because it has been doing a lot of things to the Western countries, now that it is slipping off, it is slipping off from the hands, from the mouth of the Western countries. Now they have to look for other ways of sustaining themselves, because Africa has been making them exist for quite some time. That is why if you want to chase a white man from Africa, a white man cannot go. He doesn't want to go. He wants to continue staying here. Yeah? He wants to be harsh and stay here because he knows what he's getting from Africa. You need to appreciate Africa. You need to say thank you to Africa. That is what you need to say. Okay? And this topic that I'm talking about, I've talked about right now. If you want to know what I'm saying is the truth, this one is taking us to our next video. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to African Streamline. Thank you for being an African Streamline family. Those people who are calling African Streamline a family, I just love you so much. I feel love. I have love, some kind of a special love to you people. My brothers and sisters from Caribbean, from diaspora, from Africa in particular, feel love so much. Thank you and thank you and thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe if it's your first time to be here. Just make sure you go ahead and hit on the subscription box there, and then it's gonna be good. Thank you and I love you so much. Adios, my guys. Adios, adios.